What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Monday Night Gamer. I am your host, Joe Cowley, joined, as always, by...
Sean Vitale.
And...
Amanda Reed.
Alright, today we're talking about probably one of our favorite board games. At least of the, million or so board games that I've bought within my watching of Tabletop. Thank you, guys. My wallet doesn't thank you, but, I do. And that is Betrayal at House on the Hill. We picked this game up, obviously, after watching the Tabletop. But really, Amanda had, the most... The interest sparked in you the most, I think.
Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing the episode, and Joe was just introducing me to Tabletop at that point. And I love, ghost stories and anything scary like that. Especially, a cheesy,
like a B horror movie or
yeah,
something like that.
B horror movie type ghost story. So... I was really interested to play this one with everybody,
Yeah.
So we got it, and I was super excited, and I wasn't disappointed.
No. So neither have I, and I don't think anyone else have been at this point. How you kind of play this game is you're discovering the house, you're exploring rooms in this haunted mansion, and you're leveling up your characters, you're getting event cards, items, and omens as you're going along. So each time that you play this game, the house layout is different. I don't think we've really had at least a same layout any time that we've played this game.
No, not even remotely. There's just so many tiles. You get used to what the tiles are, but where the connections are made is really what makes the difference. What rooms you have to cross to get to the important places, and where doors are in relations to stairs.
Yeah.
You'll give the game a shot, and you'll see it's fun.
It gets to a point with us where we flip over a tile, and it's like, son of a bitch, it's this one now.
Yeah.
I hate having to cross this friggin' room.
If you land in this room, you lose 1 sanity.
Yeah, you take 1 die of mental damage. Fuck. Our first experience really with the game is summed up in this: read everything carefully. Why is that, Sean?
Well, as the game moves on, you discover the house until you end up changing the rules of the game. There's a section of the game called the Haunt that happens given a certain set of circumstances, and that decides how the end of the game is going to play out. It pits one player against the remaining players. I ended up being the traitor in this first Haunt that we had played, and there were some rules about how many minions. I was a Lord of Bats, and
I thought
or rats.
It was the
rats.
Pied Piper one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was the Pied Piper, and I was the Lord of these rats, and I did not read the rules correctly, and so I multiplied the number of rats I was supposed to have almost exponentially. And so I clearly won the game, but I also had 23 rats or something like absurd versus Joe and Amanda.
Yeah.
So,
I think the that kind of it's number specific.
Yeah. It depends on how many players you're playing against. You get 2 plus 1 additional for each player or something, and I don't know how I misread it, but
Yeah.
I ended up with a ton.
Yeah, you
I
did.
ended up with a ton. I think I
they-
just put them all on.
They died really easily, but it was the point of I'm in a room with 6 of them, and I get 1 attack turn, and I can only attack 1 thing at a time, but they can attack as a group. So it's I kill 1, but there's still 5 there that just overtake me, and then it's over.
It was kind of a cheap victory.
A little bit. But since we've had more experience with the game, there's certain cards that you kind of seem like you always get. For me, it's this card called the Amulet of the Ages, and I think that when I get it, all of my stats go up +1 for the entire time that I have it. But the downside, I never lost it yet, but I think you lose 3 points to both, like every trait that you have. But for some reason, I always seem to draw that card.
Yeah.
And Sean always seems to get one particular event card, which I will let him talk about.
So, the Groundskeeper. The Groundskeeper is an excellent card if you hate yourself and everything about you. I don't know, you draw this card, and it's got some nice spooky text on it about how muddy footprints appear and a groundskeeper and blah blah blah. He hits you in the face with a shovel or something, and then you get to perform a roll. The mechanism for the game is rolling, so you roll these die that are either blank 1 or 2 on the faces, and you have to beat a certain number. And if you beat the number, then you get something good. But if you lose, by any measure, there's like a 4, 3, 2, 1 level. If you lose by any measure, you just eat the shovel blow to the face, and you lose your stats. And so I invariably never find an item like you're supposed to if you win the roll, and I always take the swift uppercut from the groundskeeper spade.
The groundskeeper.
Is there a card that you always?
The junk room. The junk room. Amanda Reed always ends up in the junk room.
I hate the junk room. The junk room it's this room tile, and obviously, there's a lot of junk in this room. Pretty messy. Nobody's cleaned it in a while. Not the usual. So if you end your turn in this room, what is it? I think you either have to roll to get out, you have to roll a certain number, or you take some sort of damage.
I think it's speed
You-
damage.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I hate that room with a passion. Another one I always get is the mirror card, and there's 2 of them. There's one where you get this card, and it's like you're in this room, and you see this mirror, and you see, yourself in the mirror, but then your reflection hands you a useful item, so you pick up an item. That's always good.
Yeah.
But then there's one where it's like, oh, you see yourself, and you give your reflection an item.
Your reflection needs an item. It
And
needs help.
That kind of sucks, because what if you don't get the other mirror card and get a good item back?
Yeah.
So,
That
but it's still kind of a neat idea.
it is. It is.
It's fun. I like spooky text. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's you gotta read
Oh,
every.
the descriptions are so good.
Even like with the haunts, I've had the game for a while, and I haven't looked at I haven't looked through any of the haunt books to see what happens. There's only one haunt that we haven't played that I already know what happens, and that was the episode of Tabletop where they played the Ring of King Solomon. We haven't encountered that particular haunt yet, but it'll be fun when we do. But I think so far my favorite haunt that we've done was the chess match with Death. Amanda wasn't there for that one, but it was myself and Sean and I think Brian and Caitlin, right?
Yeah.
I ended up being the traitor, and I had to I brought in Death, and I had to put Death in a room with another one of the explorers, so either in the same room that Sean was in, the same room that Brian was in, or the same room that Caitlin was in. And you would then roll to pretty much play chess with the Grim Reaper. My character that I was controlling couldn't really do anything, because you can't interrupt the game. So you can attack different haunts, you can attack things, like we said, the first one with the rats. This one I really couldn't do anything because I couldn't disturb the game. But it was really cool how I lost. And it was really cool how I lost. Caitlin, they switched people. I think I started with you playing, and then you switched. You guys worked it out. Someone had to be in the room with Death before the monster turn, which would have been like part one, like part two of my turn, or the game is lost. So they kind of had to coordinate their moves before that turn hit, so somebody would start in there. And it turns out that Caitlin had a card called the Angel's Feather. And now what the Angel's Feather lets you do is call out on a roll any number between 0 to 8. I rolled a 6 and lost the game because apparently all they had to do was beat death once.
Right. Right. So Caitlin pulls this Angel's Feather out and just goes, "I win." And I'm like, "What? All right, yeah, we win."
I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
So even though I lost, that was probably my favorite time losing that game. You know?
Yeah, definitely a good game.
Yeah. What? Anybody else want to talk about
My
their favorite
haunt
haunts?
would probably be the Frankenstein haunt. Because it was the three of us playing, and we were probably the most creative with this one because we actually came up with a backstory for our characters.
Oh yeah.
Based on like what characters we played as, and it turned out that I think Joe was the traitor. Who were you? You were the really tough guy.
What was that?
Were you Ox?
I might have been Ox Bellows.
Bellows.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
Ox Bellows.
He turned into a mad doctor and created a Frankenstein type monster that went to kill us. And I do believe that you won that game.
I did.
Yeah.
I think I did win that.
And the description, when at the end of the haunts on each page of the haunt book, there's a description that says what happens if you lose or if you win.
Yeah.
So the description of what happened after Sean and I died just was so creepy.
It was. I think like.
All of them are creepy, but that's...
I think like the description was used like using your characters for another like Frankenstein monster or something along those lines. It was some of the stuff is creepy
Sends
as shit.
a chill up your spine.
It really does.
Yeah, but that was a fun game.
That
and
might
a
be
fun
my
hunt.
favorite part of the game, getting to read the end.
The
Yeah.
end. Whether it's there's two separate books, so whoever becomes the traitor, they have their own haunt book that tells them how they have to win, and the other, it's called the Survivor's Guide. It has what they need to win. So sometimes the books are a little different. You know, maybe the traitor knows something that everybody else doesn't know, or everyone else knows something that, like, say, I don't know. You know, like, I didn't know chess match with death. I didn't know you had to beat him once for me to lose. That was a shocker. So,
Do you have a favorite haunt, Sean?
yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the title of this haunt, and in particular, I enjoyed the mechanism of the haunt. It was a joke about teen werewolves since I was a teenage lycanthrope, and obviously it's a werewolf type haunt. Whoever the traitor is becomes a werewolf and receives the dog token, and the dog is your ally and can go out and help hunt down the survivors. And naturally, what kills a werewolf but a silver bullet? So the object for the survivors is to get to a lab, make a silver bullet, get a gun, and shoot you with it. And the object for the werewolf is to kill everyone, or the mechanism that I really liked was that you can convert the other players into werewolves. So if you can do damage to an opponent and then you force them on their turn, if you've done damage to them, you force them on their turn to make a sanity roll. So that's obviously one of the characteristics. And if someone has a low sanity, that makes them a target. If they lose that sanity roll, they have to beat a certain number, they become a werewolf as well. So then all their stats get beefed up and they come on your team, and then they get included in the win if they can help either convert another player into a werewolf or kill someone for the win. So it's fun because It's no longer just 1-on-1. You can, or 1-on-3. You can turn the tables.
I would have liked to play that one a little bit more than we ended up playing it. Everything like when we played it together, you didn't get a chance to convert anyone, really do much of anything before we were able to defeat you. And like I just ended up in the room that I needed to find the revolver. And then Amanda was close by a room she needed to make silver bullets.
Right.
It
was unfortunate for me because they were already in prime position, and that was totally unpredictable because of the nature of the game, flipping the tiles for the rooms.
Yeah.
We never could have predicted that was going to happen. But I did play it again without Joe or Amanda, and I ended up with the victory that time. I was also turned into a werewolf, surprisingly again,
Yeah.
And I was able to win that time because we ended up with Father Reinhardt.
Yes.
Father Reinhardt was not moving swiftly enough around the house. He had all he needed, but he could not move quickly enough to get to his allies before I could convert them.
Ooh.
So he couldn't get the shots off.
Have we talked about our favorite characters yet?
I'm segueing into that right now because you were talking about needing a sanity roll to not be a werewolf, and like kind of picking on the lesser sane characters. Like for some reason, when I'm playing, I play as either Father Reinhardt or Dr. Longfellow, and I'm able to beef my mental stats up very quickly with these two characters. So like Sean said, you pick on a character with this particular haunt that might not have the same sanity level, so that would kind of lure you away from like my character. You're like, all right, I'm not like I just have to outright kill this guy. Like there's no way it's gonna take like 3 or 4 rolls before I could become a werewolf just because of the amount of dice that I have to roll. Like 6 or 7 die.
Yeah, that's a threat. So pick off someone weak, and then 2-on-1 or 2-on-2 is much better than 2-on or 1-on that big ass amount of insanity.
I'd say for me, I like playing as both of those characters. I don't know. I think it's because for the one I get to do a goofy voice, and like I don't know. I just kind of like how I play with both of them. I've had like ridiculous luck with both of those characters, so I kind of want to like keep that lucky streak going.
He always gets the Amulet of the Ages. He's already got stacked mental stats to begin with from the baseline, and there's rooms you can go in that pump them up. There's items that you can draw, and then draws the Amulet of the Ages on top of that. I think we've almost every time we've played the game, he maxes out his knowledge and sanity before the haunt starts. Yeah. He's at 8 and 8, and you're just like, wow, that's pretty impressive. That's a formidable foe.
Yeah, you like he better not be the traitor, and it better not be knowledge or sanity based, or that's gonna fucking suck. But what about you guys? What characters do you like to play?
I like to play as Missy DeBoard. She is a little girl with a teddy bear.
The miniatures for this game are awesome.
And a flashlight that's bigger than her that she just drags around. I think I should mention there's 4 pawns, but
no,
6.
There's
6 pawns.
6 pawns, a possibility of 12 characters to play.
Right, so you could pick from 2 different characters for each pawn. But I like Missy the best because her stats I find to be a little bit better because she can make more moves in a turn than the other little girl character can. Yeah. So it's kind of ridiculous, actually. Like she can move, I don't know, like maybe 5 spaces, and then somebody else can move only 3.
Yeah. So I think that's the one downside for the characters that I play as. Yeah. Their physical stats aren't that great, so I may not be able to move as many spaces in a turn. But if something has a knowledge or sanity based roll, I could max that in a sec. I could get it. I think I can open the vault. The vault is a room. I think it's a knowledge roll to open it. And pretty much if I could find the vault, or if the vault comes, all I have to do is get to it and just stay there. Maybe I won't get it the first time, but eventually I will, because I'm rolling so many so many dice, like upwards of all the dice at one point.
Who's your favorite character, Sean?
Well, favorite character is hard to say. I really enjoy playing a variety of the characters. I know that my least favorite character is Peter Akimoto. I just had no luck with the little Asian kid. I assume he's Asian, but you turn it over and he becomes Brandon Jaspers, and he's just an average little dumb kid. So I don't know, but I think an important thing to mention about these characters is that they all have some nice demographic information included with their cards. So you get their like approximate age, you get their actual age, you get their birthday, and you get their interests and their specialties.
Talking about their birthday, that's a really interesting way of figuring out who goes first. Whatever character's birthday is closest to the day you are playing the game, that character goes first.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on the 22nd. So if we were playing, whatever character's birthday would be closest to the 22nd of February goes first. I think that's awesome.
Now, Amanda likes to play as Missy DeBoard, and I think it's crucial that we mention she has my favorite hobbies. She's got the best demographic information, at least as far as I'm concerned, because she is a 9-year-old girl whose hobbies include swimming and medicine, and it just raises all kinds of strange questions as to why Missy would be wandering around a haunted house with Faser Reinhardt in the middle of the night. There's just lots of...
Maybe she does some strange experiments. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe she's behind...
I don't know what kind of medicine
some of
she's
the
taking,
monsters.
but I think that Professor Longfellow might be giving her some medicine that might not belong to her. I mean, there's lots of... There's dangerous situations.
It's just endless, the amount of situations that she could possibly be in.
Same goes for Peter Akimoto. He's just a pipsqueak. He's just not a good character to play as.
No.
I apologize to anyone who enjoys Peter. I'm sure that
there's people out there that do.
But that's not me.
Baseball and bugs. That's somebody's interest.
I think
that's it. That might be
That might
Brandon.
be
It's probably Brandon.
Or Brandon.
Brandon Jaspers. He is average.
Yeah, he is. I think we've kind of done favorite, and we usually like to end these with our favorite and least favorite thing, but I think you could, just listening to it, you kind of can tell what our favorite and least favorite thing is about
we
it.
all love this game.
Yeah.
We hate getting the same cards, but we love
it's
just how it's a different game every time you play it.
We still haven't even, I don't even think we've done half of the haunts that are...
Yeah, we haven't even made a dent into it.
No, we probably haven't done an eighth of them, man. There's like 50, right?
Yeah.
And we've played 6?
Yeah, we've played like maybe 6 or 7 total haunts. And it's a couple hour game. Like, you guys need to settle into this game. Like, don't think this is gonna be we're gonna be done with this game in like 45 minutes.
And don't give up either. I know that it could be a little overwhelming at first because you're like, there's so many rules, there's so many things to remember, but once you get the hang of it,
if you're used to playing like tabletop role playing games, you'll be fine with this. But if this is your first thing, like, we were never really big Dungeons and Dragons people. That's a whole nother level that I don't even want to get into. But this it was a little bit overwhelming. Like, I've watched. For me, I'm very visual with learning, so watching tabletop for me really, really helps. And just sitting down to play the game, like the very first time that the two of us were playing it, we were playing with my sister, and I'm explaining the rules as I'm like setting it up, and she's like, "How do you know this much about this game already? Like, you just got it." I'm like, I watched the tabletop episode about 4 times. Internet. So, but don't get overwhelmed. Don't get discouraged. Once you learn the game and you're comfortable with it, it really opens up.
Yep.
So,
my favorite thing is playing this game with Joe and Amanda.
Aww.
My least favorite thing is not playing this game with Joe and Amanda.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Follow us on Twitter and you'll be able to find out pretty much what I'm doing, what we're doing. Usually me, because I run it. But what we're playing. I'll post pictures of the games that we're doing. We're probably going to play Takanoko tonight. So you'll see some pictures of that, pictures of pretty much anything that we're doing, tweets about upcoming podcasts and all that stuff. I'm trying not to end these. We do a beer blog as well, and I'm trying not to end these videos the same way that I do our beer blog videos. So it's hard because it's so ingrained into me. But yeah, thanks for listening. I'm Joe Cowley again with
Sean Vitale.
And
Amanda Reed.
thanks for listening.